Hi guys, karibuni tena to my YouTube channel. I'm Atieno Olang, and today we are going to discuss about sex and love. Is sex love? Is love sex? Do they have anything to do with it? Over the years, I've had women who said, I'm in this because of the children. But do you think it started with sex, or it started with love, or there wasn't a deeper connection that brought it to love? Karibuni tena. As I said, I'm Atieno Lang. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Now, what is love? The first question is, what is love? Growing up in an African community, we were taught that love is bad manners. So as a child, you grow up knowing that love is bad manners. And we affiliated, or we associated love with sex. When you saw someone doing an act that involved sex or love, we run to our mothers and say, Mama, Mama, anafanya tabia mbaya. It was bad manners. That was the first thing we associated sex with. Going back to church, church plays a very big role in a child's life in bringing up everybody. In church, we were taught that sex is spiritual, meaning you can transfer demonic activities if you are not married, and it was something done only during marriage, couples who are married, and this is a man and woman. Nowadays we have many couples, we have different same sex as couples, and it's something that everybody knows at this particular moment. Not long time when I was young, it was a man and a woman, period. Right? Now in church, sex is spiritual, and it is an act that you do only when you are married as a couple, because you can transfer, because in church we say when you become one, the spirit becomes one, and things like that. Now we have realized what we call, how we associate with sex so far: bad manners and spiritual. Now let's go to the third one. We grow up not talking about sex and not about love, because love was sex, and nobody was going to talk about that at all. Now we have something called polyamory. Polyamory is now where you have sexual partners that are three different sex. Here is where you get a man, a woman, or two men and a woman, or two ladies and a man, and they are all penetrating, intimacy that they penetrate. And I don't know if that has anything to do with love, or it's just sex and lust, but that is what it is. We have we cannot talk about sex and love and not include lust. So what is lust? According to me, lust is an essential first stage of love. First, you must lust on someone, according to me. Without the desire of wanting someone, you cannot result to having any kind of sex or any kind of love. So you must first desire, and that is where we find lust. And for me, lust, I associate it with sex a lot. Lust is driven by physical connection. So when you lust after someone, it is a physical connection. You've seen this woman or this man, and you like the features that they have, or the way they walk, I don't know, whatever it is. And when you are together, you have this great sex, but no connection, no emotional connection. But then again, we have people who go through this, but then they develop to love. They have a foundation. The difference between love, lust, and sex is sex is just more like lust for me. It is when you have a good sex, but it has no foundation. It can break any time because there's nothing. You don't talk. All you can do is have sex, but you cannot talk. You have nothing to discuss. You don't desire to talk about anything. Okay? Let's talk about relationship with sex and our young people. When we get young people engaging in things like pornography and early sex, then you found, especially our boy children, they start relating with women as a tool, as an object. And hence they lose respect for the woman because they see a woman as an object for sex. This is engaging in early sex and having sex with your cousins, your sisters. I've heard this story. A man who talks about having sex with a cousin or a sister is very dangerous for me because already he sees a woman as a tool, a woman as an object of sex. And hence such men cannot stay in a marriage for long. They have like variety of divorce because no woman is going to stand for such a treatment. So for a child to have a good sex life which might lead to a good love life is they need to not engage into sexual activities when they're young. This is my opinion again. They don't need to engage into such kind of activities when they're young. And when they're ready, and from a point of love and respect, and where they have a foundation, and preferably if it's your wife or someone you're going to marry, because you don't want to leave broken souls out there. Okay? Okay, so far we have come to understand that sex is an act of two people or more that is intimate, and there is a penetration that can result to pregnancy, can result to STDs, can result to domestic violence. By the way, 99% of domestic violence is because of sex or love. One of the partner went out of the relationship or something like that. Depression. So that is now what sex is. Now let us talk about love. Love in respect to relationship, because love is wide. Now we talk about love in respect to relationship. Now love is whereby when it comes with relationship is where there is an emotion towards the sex that you're going to have. That's why we say we are making love, not fucking, not having sex as many people want to say it, you know. So love is where now you have built a foundation. You have feelings for each other. You care for each other. You care for one another's opinion. You care for one another sentimental values, you know. When someone has said, when your partner has said, I am not ready for this, even if you're courting, and he says, for me, I am not ready for intimacy, you respect that. You don't come in with comments like, I think it is cowardly to wait for 2 months. It is just the same as having it on the first day. No. If one is not comfortable enough at that particular moment, when there is love, when there is an emotional connection, then you give them that leverage, that space for them to grow, for you people to grow together and to reach there, and for you to have that sentimental value, to have the foundation and to know why you are even having the relationship to begin with. And it is very important. When a relationship is built out of love, then you have more value, you have more to talk about. You know, the foundation is really deep. Even when there's no sex, you still remain because you value each other and you're really connected to each other. There was a test conducted by an MRI scan that shows that the brain of someone who has lust and the one taking cocaine are the same. So it is more like a drug than when you are, it's like you're taking substance. So you're not on your normal self when you're just having lust and having great sex or that connection. It is just sex, sex, sex. No, 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 no. I think it is important to have love. Love will always last long. According to me, love will always last long because it has a foundation. And again, you have the emotional attachment to each other, and you know, so it will always last long, you know. And with love again is where you love is not selfish. When someone loves you, they will support you, they will want to see you make progress in your life, in your economic value. But lust and sex alone is very selfish. It's about me, not considering someone's health, someone's whatever is happening behind. It is just about me. What do I get from it? and that is the difference. So now, if we know that sex and love together is where now we have the emotional attachment together, we have the value of each other, we have the care of each other, as opposed to just great connection physically that may not last, which always does not last long, or otherwise, I don't know, we won't be having sexual workers on the street, I guess, because that is their job. I'm thinking they're very professional at it. Um, Again, uh, what would we say when people who have connected, have children, suddenly decide to divorce because of one thing or the other? I don't know if the foundation was not built right, if they need Jesus more in that foundation. I have no idea really. But all I know is sex lasts and sex comes first. Yeah, they come first. When you give sex way in your relationship first, it's just lust that will be moving the relationship, as opposed to building a foundation first of all, and having some value in your relationship. You have something to talk about. So it's not just about your physical attraction and your physical needs being met. I hope we have come to an agreement. And if not, you give me your view also. And again, we meet again next week. You tune in when we'll have a conversation on the joy of sex. Yes, and I have many ways that I know we can do it. I have around 7. I don't know how many you know. But if you're interested, subscribe to my channel and we'll continue with the topic next week. I'm your girl, Atieno Olang. Asanteni sana for tuning in today.